Hello, hello, Solar here. I hope you guys are doing well. So I'm back again with a reading, but also with some downloads. I think I'm going to mix the downloads in this time. So I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome if you're here for the first time. Please do stick around if you've been drawn in by the title. There probably is something here for you. Welcome if you are a new subscriber. Welcome if you're returning. Thank you for all the ways you guys support me. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your donations. I appreciate it all. So we're going to get into a message that I received a few days ago. As I say that, look at the clock, it's 23:44. So a few days ago, I'm minding my business and I hear, I know what you did last summer. And I'm thinking, oh, that like movie, what's it, the movie series, not the series, but you get what I'm saying. And I don't think, I think I only watched one of those as a child, like as a teenager when it came out, but I don't even remember the plot. Maybe I should have looked into the plot, but I don't know. It's not important so much as the messages. I know what you did last summer, and then I heard someone snicker in the background and say, no, I know what you did every summer. So there's some kind of energy here that's wanting to be unveiled or unmasked concerning some kind of something that somebody has been doing every single summer. And from what my understanding is, this thing that they've been doing every summer is to purposely make somebody wander around aimlessly, like they're circling in the desert. That's what the download showed me, to make you wander around aimlessly in the desert. So when you think about the desert, they want you thirsty. They want you flustered when you think about the heat. But then in the desert, it also gets really cold at night. So they want you to be alone in your darkness. They want you searching for an oasis that you cannot get to, or you could not get to because you weren't aware that what you were fighting was this energy that was being thrown at you. So you have an oasis, and this is somebody who's been blocking you, and they've been doing it every summer. And I feel like for many of you, this is like the energy of those of you who identify with these energies of having dealt with these attacks from the time you were a child, but there's something about something that was done specifically every summer. And I do think, in all frankness, it has to do with the 8/8 portal. And therefore, I think for many of you, this is going to affect you if you have, what they were showing me was if you have a lot of Sirian or Lyran energy, okay? Oftentimes, the Lyran energy comes through the Sirius portal, but many, from my understanding of like star family energies and star seed energies, I should say rather, and I'm not very well versed in this area, to be completely honest, but from the little I know, Sirius is in general a grand portal, and it's considered to house like a lot of like our ascension lessons, and kind of like the universities of the planets operate through that star system. And so a lot of beings either come through that portal or have some kind of serious connection, even if it's just that they've spent time studying there. Some of you go there at nighttime on the inner planes for your upgrades. You might be traveling to that specific star system, okay? So I'm going into the Oracle of Shadow and Light by Lucy Cavendish, because I like this one for the revelation of these kinds of energies. This is an older woman. The voice I'm hearing is that of an older woman. Autumn is my last chance. Please don't lose hope. Autumn is my last chance. Number 6. Death and the Maiden. Invasion. Boundaries violated. Dominated. I'm feeling like whoever this message is for, there's been some kind of like energy vampirism that's been occurring in your fields every single summer. Um, it's an energy vampirism that was designed to take you out of alignment with any of your divine contracts. For some of you, there was equinox magic involved. Um, And for some of you, you've broken yourself out of this successfully. And when I say you've broken yourself out of it successfully, maybe you woke up to this last summer. Maybe you woke up to it last year sometime. Either way, you woke up to something not being right. And the minute you began to get awareness, even if you didn't know exactly what it was, those attacks may have elevated, right? They may have elevated for you. Halloween last year might have also been significant. June of last year, August of last year, the 28th of June might be significant. The 2nd of August might be of significance to some of you. You might have been born in 1982. 1928 might be of significance. 1986, 1968, 1962. 2008 might have been of importance too, or 2006. Okay, take it as it resonates. There's something that you've been doing, even if you're not fully aware of what it is that's been going on in your fields in terms of all of the information of what this being or person's been doing. And I'm feeling very strongly older, like older female, like significantly older. And this might not be the person, who this has been being done on behalf of, but this, I feel like who I'm hearing is a practitioner, in all frankness. In other words, for some of you, this older woman the voice that I'm hearing, she is the practitioner that has been hired on behalf of somebody else who's hired her to do this or has been hiring. Okay? It's 23:50 on my clock. 5523, High Priestess, Empress, Hierophant. Do you want me to know there? You might resonate with this reading if you consider yourself to be a divine feminine, if you consider yourself to be either a high priestess or an empress, or you've amalgamated those energies within the fullness of self. Or maybe some of you, what you're doing is that you are able to marry the fullness of your feminine energies now, and you are graduating with this Hierophant energy, and it's bringing about change and creation in your life and creative forces that you're wielding in your life that is shutting this person out too, which is kind of like an energy that we are dealing with right now in this portal. I'm going to go into this person has been, it feels like ever since you have discovered that something has been going on, and you've been doing whatever it takes in order to try and protect yourself, no matter like what that might be. You've been giving a person a run for they're not able to, they're not as successful in what it is that they used to be able to do now that you have awareness. And there's something here for whoever this is for. With the autumn is my last chance. Somebody has some kind of situation that is going to die if something doesn't occur by the autumn. Now, it could very well be that this person is going to continue to try until the autumn and they're going to be taken out. That's one way you can look at this. You can look at this thing. What I'm really feeling though is because what has happened, oh my gosh, what has come out of Kipper is sudden wealth and lovers. And at the bottom of this deck, we have courthouse, and we have this number 23 showing up again. Number 23 is the number of Aquarius, okay? It is an Aquarian degree. So 23 and 11 are both Aquarius numbers. And then in the center, we have 15, the lovers, which again breaks down to a 6. So that's to do with a divine contract. There might be something coming in for someone, the 2 and the 3, the 5. There's some kind of a change or decision that might be being made in a courthouse or a courthouse setting, whether that, I don't know whether this is etherically or in real time, but whatever decision is being made here is altering the complete trajectory of what somebody got used to doing every single summer. And therefore, if they don't get this result by autumn, this whole situation that they've been adding energy to every year, feeding energy to every year and getting a specific result up until whenever that started to slow down because they faced like a rebuttal from you. That's not quite the right word, but you know what I mean. Maybe it is. So now what's happening is that they're doing their best. It feels like this has somehow shifted. Like it feels like once upon a time, the whole point of this was to keep you drained, was to take your energy, right? But there's something about some kind of divine contract that is coming in that's bringing you some kind of wealth, some kind of divine appointment with wealth, with the 777 number. You might be seeing that a lot, 777, right? And it's something to do with the age, the change of ages, 23:55 on my clock. It's something to do with the change of ages. It's something to do with the divine contract. It's something to do with a payout. It's something to do with you having reached a certain milestone of your own healing whereby this is now possible. But it feels like this energy once upon a time was really just focused on energy harvesting you. But that's not what the focus is anymore. Now the focus is on the contract that they don't want to come in. And it's like the contract, it's almost like this contract that you have with this other person. It could be romantic, it could be, business, it could be anything. Whatever situation this is with another person, it's going to activate you into a higher state or into a higher timeline where you're going to access something that this being doesn't want you to access. And the reason they don't want you to access it is because they've been harvesting you to gain access to this. Okay, so some of you are not even aware of the value that you carry. Okay, and this is what some of the downloads were coming in. Also, you don't realize how much rejection you faced in this lifetime, which was truly like, and not to be cliche, it really was divine protection. And it was divine protection because you have such a high call on your life. And but you also had to wait on divine timing because the high calling on your life is very much based upon these new earth energies. And so as such, you may have dealt with a lot of heartbreak, a lot of rejection. You might have even been one of those people who felt like there was something wrong with you, I'm not lovable, and all this other shit. Well, part of that may very well have been the work that was being thrown at you to have you wandering aimlessly in your life in all areas, including love. So part of it could have been that, absolutely. But for every attack and scheme of that beings, corporations, factions, etc. try to send against you, there's always a divine purpose as to why it's allowed. Okay, the minute that those energies stop being useful to the divine on your path is the minute that they stop. So how were those energies useful on your path? They were useful on your path because they were supposed to help you wake up to your value. So while the enemy wanted, the quote-unquote enemy, wanted to use these energies to devalue you into states of thinking you're unworthy, the divine wanted you to wake up to your worth and realize that the very reason why you don't succeed with some of these beings is because they're not good enough for you. Okay? They're not good enough for you, or they're not for you. Some of them are simply not good enough for you because they consistently choose lower realities. And that's not what you came here to live in. You know, some of you have walked around in the matrix pining after situations that, while they might seem or appear to be nice, compared to what it is that you're supposed to have, they're mediocre. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm not being elitist in any way. I'm just saying that everyone has their own path. And some of you have a really high path this lifetime, and you have not been allowed to settle. I have a video on my other channel that talks about that, about how those of you that hold angelic DNA, you don't do matrix. You don't do these mediocre, false representations of love in the matrix. You can't handle it. It's oppressive to your soul, you know. So, and that's not to say that there wasn't stuff going on to make you feel that way. It's like always a big amalgamation of stuff that's going on. Go ahead. Quickly. Thank you. It's always an amalgamation of things that are going on in order to ultimately get you divinely where you're supposed to be. So meanwhile, the enemy's laughing, ha ha ha, you know, corporations, faction, whoever's doing this shit, the little old lady practitioner, they're laughing in the background thinking that they've got you every single summer, not knowing that every single summer that they're stealing is ultimately setting you up for this grand time where you'd wake up and you take all that shit back. And not only when you wake up are you taking all of this shit back, but your waking up is bringing them judgment because they kept coming into your fields. You see, this is also a lot of the reason why some of the things have been allowed to occur in our realities, in your reality, is because literally there were people, beings, groups that needed to come under divine judgment. And it needed to be through certain beings that could do that. That's why some of you have literally had it so hard. And the minute you wake up is the minute that everything, you know, crumbles for them. You know, and it doesn't have to be materially. It's not always materially, guys. You know, some of these beings, they will not come back they will be recycled. They will lose all spiritual legacy, all, you know, like there's so many ways and that justice is brought. Sometimes it's materially. It depends on what it is that they've been doing. For some of you, this will be material. This will be real courthouse stuff that's happening in your life, real court hearings, but that might not be the case for all of you. I like to keep it real. But even earlier on, I was having a conversation with my daughter and I was talking to her about generational curse breakers and what some of you guys have endured as generational curse breakers, because let's talk about that for a second, because not many people speak about it, you know. For me, the generational curse breaker card in the tarot is the Nine of Wands, and it's often that person in a family line who's been sent to clear the family of certain karmic cycles, loops, traditions, energies that can't go forward into the new earth, right? And so some of you are walking away from families who refuse to wake up, refuse to heal. And you might think, or you might feel like your job was in vain. Let me tell you, it wasn't. Because what you did by choosing to incarnate into that family line in order to help them to heal was you took on the brunt of the pain of every single member. That's why your journey has been so tough. That's why you literally became a scapegoat. You had to take on the literal emotional pain and experiences of all of these beings. You had to feel it. You had to live it. And then you had to bust out of it and rise above. And in doing so, whether they chose to acknowledge you or not, or come along, you opened the doorway for them to heal. And you opened the doorway for all your ancestors who want to heal, who weren't able to until you decided to take on the brunt of that pain and transmute it and alchemize it. You're a fucking living legend. Okay? You've earned your opportunity now to walk into the sunset and to live your life on your own terms. Because nobody but you know the depth of the emotional pain that you had to endure on behalf of others, because it's such a subjective thing. But I can say to you, and some of you, it's not just emotional, it's physical too. It's definitely spiritual and it's definitely mental. But I can say to you, I've lived through different kinds of abuse. Okay, I've lived through violence, like physical violence, and I've been emotionally and mentally manipulated out of my, not even out of my truth. It was like out of, I can't even begin to tell you how mind fucked I've been. Okay, I can't even begin to tell you how mind fucked I've been. And I can say personally, from my own experience, my own opinion about this too, being mind fucked and emotionally manipulated was worse than the physical violence. And I'll tell you for me why that was. Because the physical violence is actually what revealed to me the mental and the emotional fuckery. It came through another person, but it revealed the underlying mental and emotional fuckery that my guides had been trying to point their finger to in certain relationships for the longest time, and I wasn't seeing the pattern until I had to sit down and be like, wait a minute, how did I get into this like fucking abusive marriage? How did that happen? You know, this shit doesn't happen in a vacuum. And they had to sit down and show me. Oh, it's because you were groomed for this through your treatment and through mind fuckery and emotional fuckery and beings making you feel like you're not worthy of being treated correctly and yada, yada, yada. And they showed me, they traced every single timeline and they showed me how at every turn they were showing me these things and I wasn't seeing it because I had bought narratives that I'd been conditioned and programmed into through the fuckery of other beings who didn't want to wake up into their truth, and my waking up into my truth meant that that light would be shown into their reality. And for many of you, that's the same. So you've dealt with the brunt of other people's emotional pain to set your family line free. I don't think you get this. I want to be so clear. So if you come from a family where you grew up with a mother and a father and 5 brothers and sisters, and you all were in a family and you were the scapegoat, you were the generational curse breaker, you have had to alchemize all of the emotional energies that these beings went through that they refused to do for themselves. Now, a lot of you are giving certain things back, but it doesn't mean that you have not experienced the depths of other people's emotional pain, not only because of what they were deflecting onto you, but because that's what was necessary in order for you to rise up out of it and heal yourself to give them the opportunity to do so too. Ain't that funny? Because even the ones who right now are rejecting you or have rejected you or made you feel as if there's something wrong with you instead of admitting to their own wrongdoing within, you know, the family system, if you're a generational curse breaker, the very ones that are still not trying to reason with you are the ones who you set free for as long as they want to. But their judgment in still not aligning with the truth of what it is they've done, their judgment is that they're blind to that. Their judgment is that the freedom is there, but they have no access to it. The door is open, the prison is unlocked, but the door is closed and they still think it's locked kind of energy. Anyway, I digress. Whew, let's go into one of my Karmic Chronicles decks. Let's get some more information. I've actually missed doing readings. I have. mean collective readings. I've done quite a few personal ones recently, but I've missed doing collective ones. They want you broken and dependent. This is why they only fake or half support you. So this is that energy of, I know what you did every summer, trying to keep you in cycles of wandering aimlessly and not connecting with your contracts, okay? Yeah, so I know what you did every summer. This is not surprising. Government agencies are in on this. So this is something that somebody got into that they had to enact against you every summer in order to get something, probably from the government also. And this is speaking to me of somebody who this is like something you were born with. It's like this is the story of someone who was born with a certain kind of birth chart. And it was instantly picked up on. It was instantly picked up on, and as such, maybe family was approached. I don't know, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. And this is like astrological fuckery. I know what you did last summer. So for some of you, you have very prominent. You might be a Cancer sun, a Leo sun, a Virgo sun. You might be a Gemini sun, all summer energies, or you could have that very highly aspected in your chart, or you could have stelliums in the third house. You could have stelliums in the third, you could have stelliums in the second house, the third house, the fourth, fifth, or sixth house. What else? Okay. They silence you and make you feel stupid because they fear what will happen once you access and live your truth. So this is the energy of being continually mind-fucked and gaslit in order to buy a narrative that keeps you wandering aimlessly in the desert because they want you broken and dependent. Okay, they wanted you in this false mental narrative. This is what they needed to keep you in order to enact what they did with success every summer. And one of you, some of you, whoever this reading is for, you broke out of the mental fuckery. That's the first thing you did. Yeah, you broke out of the mental fuckery. Meaning you stopped believing the lies and the narratives they were feeding you about yourself. And you started asking important questions. That's too many cards. You started asking important questions. And the minute you started doing that was like your team jumped on board with you and started to light shit up for you. So some of you, and this is 0011 on my clock, some of you, if these people, beings, whoever you're dealing with, if they seem to be a little bit quiet right now, I just talked about this in the last reading, it's because they're trying to fatten you up for the next attempt, for whatever they do every summer. Because autumn is their last chance, okay? So they are wanting you comfortable right now. Let me show you the card that came out at the bottom. They only want you comfortable right now so your energy expands for harvesting. So that's what came at the bottom. They may be attacking your crown, which is all, again, about connecting with your divine value, but it's also about causing confusion. It's all about messing with your mental energy so that you are not able to connect with the truth of who you are. It's a way of disconnecting you with the truth of who you are so that they can feed you, once again, the narratives that get you off course and stuck in mental energies that don't align with your divine value or truth. They sent this person to distract you and take you off course. So there was a person that may have been sent into your reality recently, or maybe in the past year or so. Take it as it resonates. This person may have been May. 15 may be an important number. This card flew out right over the Lovers. There was someone that they may have sent onto your path in order to distract you to keep you out of this contract that's opening up this energy of the sudden wealth for you. Okay, so they sent this person to distract you and take you off course and to mess with your mental and emotional equilibrium. Okay, so this person might have come in and acted as if they were your divine partner, because they were trying to get you to miss union with your true partner. Okay, I'm going to get some more on that energy. Knight of Cups, Wheel of Fortune just showed. So somebody coming in with Knight energies trying to change your Wheel of Fortune. Okay, yep. So at the bottom we have the Tower. So this is the energy if someone tried to come and cause whatever it is that you're building for yourself. Okay, whether it's your sense of self, whether it is a business, whatever it is that you're building with your new reclaimed energy that you haven't been able to have access to before, and that is also opening the door up to for higher contracts for you divinely. Something was sent to try and destroy this, but we have the Hanged Man actually came out, right? The Hanged Man, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. So this is feeling that there was somebody that was sent in, could have been an earth sign. This page energy is a real-time message coming through. So somebody came in, maybe presenting you with something that seemed to be of value. But the whole point of it was to get you stuck. That was their point, right? And to cause whatever it is you're building, especially your sense of self, to crumble with the Tower. But here's what it actually did, because the cards can be read from the viewpoint of what it is their intention is. And it can also be read from the viewpoint of what it is that divinely has occurred or is occurring because it didn't work. Okay, so the Tower energy is also enlightenment. It's the enlightenment that you need in order to for illusions to crumble, for certain illusions to crumble, that you can then move your chariot forward through. So in other words, some of these beings, because of where we are in the ascension, they think that they can still send you like crown chakra spell attacks and send other beings in to try to mess with the trajectory of where you're going and mess with your mental reality and mess with your emotional fields and mess with your timelines and do all manner of fuckery, And once upon a time that might have worked. It might have caused anything you were building to crumble. It might have caused your unions to crumble, your friendships to crumble. But this time around, what is actually happening. What is on my face? What is actually happening is the illusions that they're casting towards you. It's like they're trying to cast illusions to build a tower of illusions around you. But it's like they're trying to send illusions to add upon the tower of illusions they already have around you. But what's ultimately happening is when they cast these extra illusions, any illusions that you have not yet tuned into and recognize that they are illusions that they've sent in your fields prior, what they're doing is they're actually giving you the ability to tear down everything. So they're trying to cast more illusions, blanket you in more illusions, but when they send you more illusions, not only do the ones that they're sending crumble, but because they match the energy of past illusions that they've tried to cast you in, those illusions be coming down too. So you have even more clarity. Even if in the beginning you have a little bit of a lack of focus or lack of awareness or lack of equilibrium, once you get settled and grounded in your energy again, they're giving you more access to what it is you need to stand further in your divine truth, if that makes sense. They're giving you enlightenment moments. They're not causing destruction, they're causing enlightenment. And that destruction and dysfunction is being returned to their fields where it belongs, because they are the ones who made it. It's like their illusions are coming in to snatch up the other ones and be like, come on guys, it's time to go home. Been here long enough. It's causing you to see the truth. Because the Hanged Man energy in the deck is all about hanging yourself upside down, because the Matrix, which is built upon the projection of illusions again, right? The Matrix is an inversion of everything. So it makes you see everything the wrong way around. So when you have the Hangman energy, this is also about, even if it pauses you, which it probably did, it put a pause on you. But what it ultimately helped you to do was to tear down more illusions and see things the way they actually are. And the Page of Pentacles, this is what helps you to move forward. It gives you the solid pentacle, the solid information, or something solid that now allows you to build even further for yourself. So this is the classic example of what the enemy meant for your destruction and your dysfunction is you're able to take it and use it to build. And once upon a time you weren't doing that, because you were constantly being placed in a tizzy, thinking, and then waiting for the next time to be put in a tizzy again, and you didn't realize why. I'm hoping that makes sense. Oh, in terms of signs, the Tower is Scorpio energy, can also be Aries. The Hangman is Pisces energy. And the Page of Pentacles is Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. So it could be the beings that you're dealing with. You could be one of those signs, or it could be energies within your chart that you need to take a look at where they are. I'm taking out the other half of my Karmic Chronicles deck. I keep on seeing this Karmic Sibling card. We just lost the card. 1 second. It flew under my desk. Can I get it? Ooh, this card is being quite elusive. Now I have to get it and see why it wants to run away from me. They threw the rocks, hit their hands, and arrived on the scene to help and rescue. So this is for you guys who have this ongoing narrative of things falling apart in your life, and the very ones who come in to help you put things back together again and then make you feel guilty as fuck and make you feel like you're useless and all these other things are the ones that are throwing the rocks to cause the destruction and the dysfunction, so that they can run in and be your savior, and then you can become, you can become more broken and dependent upon them, and in doing that they're able to gain access to your divine resources. And now they're mad because you know. They're mad because you peaked their game. They know you know because you changed up the way you might be towards them, but more importantly, the things that they are trying to do that they had, that were working with like success before, it's not happening anymore. It's 0022. So whatever it is that they used to do every summer to you is no longer working. They've told so many lies that they're terrified to stop and come clean. Guilt is their bedfellow. So yeah, this is what I'm feeling here is also somebody who you may have even confronted about certain things, whether it was directly this energy or not, it doesn't matter. And instead of taking the opportunity to say sorry or to do something to make some kind of amends because they know you know, they try to put you deeper into a web of lies. They try to push you deeper into the mental fuckery and the mental narrative that they need you in. Even though at this point they kind of know you know, it's like they're still taking their chances. And this is the energy I was speaking about before when I said you generational curse breakers, the ones who continue in the fuckery after you've given them the opportunity to get free, that will be added to their judgment too, because you weren't sent or you didn't choose to come here on this earth and take on that position in that family in order to needlessly in order for your efforts to be wasted. And so there are many ways that they've already squandered you. They squandered your divine gifts by trying to repress them in you. They squandered your divine worth by trying to not only repress that energy in you, but some of them literally repress you in order to harvest off of you. And then furthermore, they're continuing to try to repress your divinity in order to prolong the inevitable. When really there is salvation that's available, or was available to many of them, and now for many of them the door has been closed. They will not be able. Their eyes have been closed. It was like that scripture that was coming up earlier on in the other reading, when it speaks about the eye being the lamp. Their eye has been, actually I still have it up here. Their eye has been put out, meaning that they're not able to see. Yeah, their eye is bad. It says, but if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? So they've been overtaken by an inability now to even be able to connect with truth, let alone see it. That's part of their judgment. That's why when you come into their fields in the spirit of truth, they'll argue against it, because they don't recognize it, because their connection to truth has been put out through their continual choices to try to deceive and to gaslight and to play these mental fuckery games. Step up your cleansing and protection, because some don't know when to stop. Ninth house. You might be a Sagittarius, they might be a Sagittarius, they might be messing with your Jupiter energy. But the ninth house is all about your ability to expand into the fullness of who you are divinely and to live truthfully. So check what's in your ninth house, okay? It's also very much connected to liberty and freedom. It's that energy where you're able to, and this is where many of you might be right now, as you enter into the pinnacle of what they call the 8-8 portal. The ninth house is all about when you are able to connect with the truth of who you are, but it's not materially there yet. So you see who you are, you know what your value is, you know what's coming forth, because you're connecting with yourself, you're connecting with your guides, you're sensing it, you're knowing it's inevitable because you know who you are, and you're choosing to walk by faith and not by sight. And as such, you're able to see and connect with things in a different way. And you have to continue walking and living in that energy in order to bring it forth materially. So this again is a repeat of the energy that was coming through in the last reading. And that is that you, as I explained it, it's like the 7% of the 100% of what you're seeing in material reality, or rather, material reality is only a 7% representation of what is actually going on in fullness. And so these beings want you so obsessed with the 7% and what you see not happening that you don't realize that you're already fully in birthing your new reality, which is a 93% that will come and shift and shove that 7% out of the way and create a whole new 7% reality for you materially. I hope that makes sense. They're doing that through the attacks against the ninth house, and that is all about your ability to connect with these wider energies that are ultimately truth. So this again is fuckery with the mind. But again, we have at the bottom of this deck, stealing ground while ungrounded. So now you know what they did every summer. You know what they did every summer, but they ain't gonna do it this one. Party is over. Yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this. Jupiter magic. Ninth house and Jupiter magic. Check out what is in your ninth house. Check out your Chiron and check out where Jupiter sits in your chart. Okay, because these are the energies that they are wanting to fuck with. And this is all about your ability to expand. For some of you, you've had holds placed on travel, holds placed on justice and court orders, holds placed on educational pursuits, holds placed on certain things and endeavors you wanted to do in order to move forward on your spiritual path. They may be using water and stagnancy magic in order to do this, okay? This is just so you know, because this stuff it's not going to like continue, like the card said before, like continue to cleanse and protect and do all that stuff. But also know that at this level of the game, whoever this reading is for, you're protected. Because again, that card's stealing ground while ungrounded, was at the bottom of the deck. So again, this is showing me that they're coming against you and you're balanced and in your own energy. You're in your own lane. And they're trying to come into your lane with their messy energy. And all that's happening now is that your energy is spitting it out. Like I was saying to you before about that tower energy where they're coming in to cast their illusions. And instead of those illusions sticking, it's finding any trace of any illusions that they've sent on your path in the past. It's grabbing a hold of those illusions. It's like, let's go home to our owners. And now they're going to be stuck. Don't be surprised if some of these people start to have things like mental breakdowns, because that's the energy that they've been sending towards you. And they can't hack their own energy. That's what I'm telling you. You generational curse breakers, you know how hard it is what you've been through your own personal subjective experience. But what you've been through is incredible, because the thing about it is that you've been holding energies in your field. You've been transmuting and alchemizing energies in your field that the very beings who created those energies cannot deal with. Do you know how badass that makes you? Yeah. So you've got death magic and you've got a religious spirit and prayer witchcraft. This is the energy of beings who like to bring endings to the things that you're desiring to create under the guise of trying to help you walk in righteousness and truth, or to help you not go to hell. Return their prayers to them in love and in grace, and call back all of your power and collapse all of the fake timelines they've tried to create and drag you into through this prayer witchcraft, because that's what it is. It's witchcraft. Most of them don't like to admit to it, but it's witchcraft. Because anytime you try, and I'm not saying all witchcraft is bad, witchcraft is witchcraft. It's simply manipulation of energy. It's what you choose to do with it. There are many people who identify themselves as being witches who are some of the biggest light warriors and shadow workers working for the upliftment of mankind, Gaia, and the natural order, because their hearts are for divine order. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about beings who actually, the majority of people who are participating in really fucked up energies of witchcraft are the ones who aren't even doing it on purpose, because they would never classify what they're doing as witchcraft, but it is. You know why it is? It's because anytime you try to change someone else's reality by affecting their free will through what it is that you're asking to be done in their lives, you are in violation of universal law. This is why I don't fuck around with going into other people's energies that have not consciously consented and asked me to do that. It's a breaking of universal law. Okay? Because God, him, her, themselves don't even do that. They give us free will to exercise it, to make the choice that we want to make. So when these beings are praying to God, asking God to do things in your life because they think they know what's better for you, which God, quote unquote, are they praying to? Because Source, Creator, gave you free will to do whatever the fuck you want to do, even if you want to drive your own vehicle into hell. But where divine wrath rises up is when we try to do that to another person. Because if you want to ruin yourself. That is your divine right. But when you try to control the path of someone else, then you're stepping into waters that you better be prepared to pay the price for, especially if you're trying to divert the path of a being who is divine, who's been sent here on a mission and is walking in divine alignment. Then you're fucked. You suicidal at that point, as I like to say. You must not value your own life when you're trying to come for someone who is in divine alignment. And you can't be in divine alignment yourself if that's what you're doing. Coming for another being in divine alignment? No. So the death magic and all of the prayer energy, return it back to them. Make them responsible for the energies that they are creating. They want to be creators. They want to be like God over you. They don't get to sit on that throne over you. That's your throne to sit on over self. So therefore, reject their energies and let them deal and take responsibility for what they've chosen to create with their own God abilities. Because we all have God abilities. We're all fragments of Source, living in physical, choosing to live physically in this, in bodies and experiencing our consciousness materially. But we all have God energies. So with God energy comes responsibility. You can't just be going around willy-nilly creating and manipulating and manifesting irresponsibly and think you're going to get away with it forever. This is exactly why, like I said to you at the beginning of this video, this is exactly why some of these beings are sent to you. Their your divine assignment is to bring judgment on their asses for being miscreators. So they stop doing this shit because it's out of divine order. It's a breach against cosmological law. Those beings that be in the church coming together, let's pray for Sister Sally, whose husband left her, and all they really want to do is gossip about poor Sister Sally. And in doing so, what they're doing is sending her death magic, because gossip is a form of murder magic. That's why in the tarot, it's the 5 of Swords. And in the end result of it is a 10 of Swords. All of these swords in your back. Why is that? Because it's a form of killing someone's mental energy. When you are trying to pray and redirect someone else's energy, or rather, when you are gossiping about a person and you're speaking shit about them, you're pulling them out of their divine truth energetically, especially if they don't have any protections over their mental energy. That's what so many of you were going through. You were down on yourselves. You believed all of this shit about yourself that wasn't true because you constantly had people slandering you, gossiping about you, backbiting, praying for you, all the while pretending that they loved you and cared for you. But behind your back, they're saying the worst things, and you don't know why you're thinking these things about yourself, not recognizing how fucking psychic you are. And that you're picking up on all of this chatter, but because you're not realizing energy, you're picking it up as your own. Some of y'all are were full on suicidal because other people had these nasty things to say about you to cut you down in the worst ways possible. Energy will play itself out in the best way it's able to. It will find whatever avenue. You don't have to be casting a death spell to make somebody want to take themselves out. You can just be a bully and say some really shitty things about them to many people. And especially many people who have a lot of emotional energy. This is why women in groups, when they're operating in their distorted feminine energy, they're dangerous. Because that emotional energy, like I spoke about in the other video, it births realities. So a group of women talking together about another woman, it's horrendous what it can do to another person. When those women really get together and they really have a lot of like bitterness or resentment or jealousy or just bad intentions for another being, and they come together and they combine the power of that emotional hatred, and they come together and they talk about that person, that's death magic. That's why the Bible tells us not to gossip, not because it makes you a bad person, but because of what it does to the energy field and the energy field of those who do it too. Some of you have been dealing with horrendous energies your whole life that have been pretending to be something to you. And meanwhile, you've been feeling shit about yourself your whole life and you haven't known it's because you've had these beings pretending to be in your corner. Meanwhile, they're sitting down, gossiping, having prayer sessions. And it's been fucking you up. Because that's how open you are. That's how beautiful you are. I get pissed off with this. Coincidences and chance run-ins. Be careful with some of these energies that if you run into somebody who you know, you have like, especially a woman, this is a woman, I'm feeling feminine energy, that you've had like some kind of past situation. It doesn't even have to be that, it doesn't even have to be like dramatic, but for whatever reason, you're not in contact with that person anymore because, there's something about that situation that didn't feel right. Trust your intuition. And if that person comes into your fields, even in dream time, clear them out. Clear them out because it might just very well be spirit revealing to you some of the beings who be doing this kind of stuff. Creating the worst circumstances for you because you're intimate with them. You let them know what's going on with you and then they turn around and make it a prayer point. You share with them, your sister Sally, and you share with them what's happening because you're downcast, you're in a moment of vulnerability. You share with some of these women who are supposed to care about you. They're your sisters in Christ, right? You share with them some of your most vulnerable things. And then they turn around and they make it a prayer point in your absence so they can gossip about you. And then use the power of prayer, which is, they may as well just be a gaggle. Isn't that what you call a group of witches, a gaggle of, they may as well just be a gaggle of witches. Like I have more respect for people who actually, do the dark arts and own that shit than these people who are pretending like they're righteous and humble and all this other stuff. And they spend their whole life casting spells because they're so miserable in their own skin, pretending to be something that they so badly think they should be because they think that's the answer. I say that as a person who who experienced that by choice. I've seen firsthand how these covens, because that's what some of these Christian women groups are. They're covens. I've seen firsthand how that shit is like a proliferator of like Jezebel spirit. You want the Jezebel spirit to fly? Get a women's group together in a Christian church. Anyway, let me stop. I'm going to stop. Whoever this reading is for, I feel like last summer was their last true hurrah. And I feel like even last summer they didn't get fully what they wanted. And this summer they ain't getting shit. Because now you know what they did every fucking summer. You know what they did every summer. You know what they did every summer. And now they can't do it no more. Now they can't do it no more. Any final messages, Spirit, please? I love it. Have faith in your dreams. This is an energy that I've been picking up too. This is connected to the Sagittarian energy, the ninth house energy, the Jupiter magic that they're doing. It's to get you out of alignment with the faith that you have in yourself and your own dreams, and to have you connecting your faith to their shit about you. Don't do it. Have faith in who you are, who the divine says you are. Have faith in your path, because the end of a tough cycle is approaching. Full moon in Capricorn. That also means the end of certain contracts. For some of you, as recently as a full moon in Capricorn, that may have been a big time of their witchcraft, of their coven activity, of their spell casting. Whether it's literally a coven, or whether it's literally people getting together to pray, or whether it's gossiping and backbiting, or all of the above. It caused some kind of death magic. Full moon in Capricorn. But know that it's the end of a tough cycle, and that was necessary. It had to come into your fields to tear down any of the residual energies that were still lingering in your fields from them. I get pissed with this kind of energy. By the new moon in Scorpio, your life might be completely different. And you're wrapping this shit up with this karmic shit. You're wrapping it up. By the new moon in Scorpio, your life might not even be recognizable to you, but you must hold on to the vision the divine has given you to get you there. You've got to work through your fears. You've got to let go of certain things. You've got to hold on to your faith in the vision the divine's given you, and not fall back into the pockets of fear that want to take you deep into like places of depression and darkness. 0044, you're protected. You're protected not only by angels, you like Divine Mother got you in her womb, holding you, energy protected, for as long as you make use of that protection. You've got to work through your fears, because part of the reason you're still in this tough cycle is because of all of the self-doubt that has been cast towards you, that you have consistently bought that lie about yourself and your ability and where you're going, etc. You bought that lie. And you've got to work through the fears of where every time you try to push past into another level of your own freedom to break out of this cycle, those lies and that self-doubt is what rises up to try to keep you back. With this Scorpio energy, it's also speaking about all of these barriers that have been created through like occult methods. But all of those barriers that they've created through occult methods are attached to a specific fear. That was another message that was coming through with the downloads. You must know the landscape of your wounds better than the beings and the entities that have been watching you and exploiting them over several timelines. It's time to break into self-gnosis. The Matrix will always repeat patterns and timelines in your own life and around you to show you or mirror back to you entry points that they've used for exploitation. So again, with that energy of chance encounters and running into people and coincidences, be very aware. These energies oftentimes are wanting to leave. And they'll enter into your fields to show you something or to give you the opportunity to opt out. So be very aware. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in dark holes where that's not the intention of why the energy is coming to you divinely. Remember what I said to you before. Their illusions are only able to enter your fields for as long as the divine allows them to work the fullness of these contracts out. In other words, in order to unveil the fullness of everything that they've placed in your field so you can clear it out, in order for you to bring judgment to the situation, and in order for you to see yourself so fucking clearly that there's no way anyone could ever do this to you again. That's why the divine keeps letting this occur until it doesn't have to anymore, because you're all the way up. And this is where you have to work through your fears, because at every turn, there are like fences that are designed to keep you stuck, to keep you believing the illusion. This is where you have to be so sure about who you are and who you are divinely in yourself. And some of you really need to check out your astrology and ask the divine to help you open up the eyes, your eyes of understanding of who you actually are. And it doesn't have to be your astrology, okay? But look for things like, if you are going to use astrology, look for markers in your astrology like master numbers. Look for the number 19. Look for Leo energy, because that speaks about what you're bringing forth from the previous golden age. Look for your Aquarian energy, because that speaks about what you're here to do in this age. Look for your Aries or your Mars energy. That's what you've been divinely blessed with to fight. It's your spiritual warrior energy. Can nobody do it like you in that energy? Step out of your comfort zone. Whatever it's going to take to finally break this contract once and for all, it's going to require for you to wade your way through the darkness of the illusions that want to keep you afraid. And that's going to require you stepping out of situations that make you feel comfortable. And that's what's going to also cause a little bit of fear. But it's like that energy that I was talking about in the last reading, where when I had that conversation with my son, this little bit of pain you have to experience, or the little bit of discomfort you have to experience, is nothing compared to the endless pain you have been going through being stuck in these timelines. But at every turn, these beings want to make you feel as if breaking out of it is going to be like terrible for you, or you're going to hurt or suffer and all that other stuff. Anytime someone comes against you with that narrative, whether it's vocally or whether the minute you start thinking about moving away from them, that's what begins to play in your head. It's a spell. Break it. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to let go of? This is all about letting go of certain mindsets about yourself. We're dealing with mental magic here. We're dealing with illusions. Illusions cast to keep you from seeing yourself clearly. But when you see yourself clearly, there's no illusion that can be cast towards you to cover that up again. So what do you need to let go of in terms of your own thinking about yourself that would allow those illusions to persist in your energy field? And get on it. Okay? Because you deserve to be out of this. Let's get you a card. Let's get you an Archangel Michael. Your prayers are being answered. So they might be doing their prayer magic against you, but your prayers for yourself outrank the prayers that any other being can ever pray against you. Okay? Have no fucking fear. Have no fear. Okay? Fear is a trap of the ego. Allow me to use my sword of light to free you from the disquieting feelings holding you back. Remember, I said to you just a minute ago, I said, if the minute you feel like you have to move forward to do something that you know is going to take you higher in on your own path, and you start hearing all of these arguments about how you're going to fail or why you shouldn't do it, and it's attached to specific energies, beings, circumstances, etc., it doesn't matter who it's attached to. It's a spell, because the divine doesn't talk to you like that. Your higher self doesn't talk to you like that. That's a fucking spell and an illusion. We're breaking out of illusions. We're busting out of these fucking illusions. That's what we're doing right now. And yeah, your prayers are being answered. Your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect. So let go of your fear and your expectations around how you think it's going to play out, because from my experience, I can tell you that it almost always plays out better than what you want anyway, for as long as you surrender to the divine. You see, in the Matrix, we get so used to trauma, and we get so used to creating more trauma because of our thoughts and our feelings, because of being used to traumatic cycles. And now it's time to let go of those trauma energies that have us recreating that because of fear. And this is really what it comes down to. You're learning how to create states of joy by letting go of the expectation of something bad happening. And your guides are here to help you. Archangel Michael will help you cut the cords that bind you to these to these negative thoughts and patterns and energies that want to keep you stuck in traumatic cycles based upon all of the spell work and then the experiences that have been produced off of that. Your guides, your helpers, your guardians, they're here to help you through. They want you to succeed. Start thinking like that. Start recognizing that you have a whole bunch of assholes who have wanted to see you fail. You have a whole bunch of assholes who probably still want to see you fail. But you have about 100 times more beings that you can't see that are wanting you to succeed, that are rooting for you, that are watching you with their popcorn. They're like, did you see what she did? Did you see what he just did? Did you see how they hit that situation out of the park? They're like rooting for you. Tune in to their energy and tune out of all of the other mental fuckery. Don't nobody got time for that no more. We're casting down illusions. Every vain imagination that exalts itself against the truth of who you are must now be cast down. From others, but most importantly, within self. So yes, that's your reading. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was insightful. I hope it was inspiring. I hope it's given you some, energy, that pushes you forward deeper into your divinity. It's what I want to see right now. 0055 on my clock. I'm sending you so much love. For those of you who would like to work with me, you can check me out on my website. That information is in the description box below. Please know I don't take any appointments through my website. It's simply a menu for you to know what it is that I do and what I offer. Anything you want to book with me must be done directly either through my contact page or by emailing me, okay? So I'm sending you guys so much love, joy, peace, clarity, focus, faith. Whew. Every beautiful thing under the sun that is ultimately your divine birthright. So grab a hold of it and run with it like you're a chariot on fire, because you are. Okay? Until next time, be well. Mwah.